Hello everyone, Random Gamer Riven here and welcome to you. I'm welcoming you to another Randomised Gaming Fight Night, and as always my co-host for this Fight Night and my opponent will be
Random Gamer Dragoon.
Dragoon was just having a quick practice. It's actually been a while since we played this, but as you can see here, this is Battle Arena Toshinden on the Nintendo Game Boy, and this is actually one of the few games that you can actually play two-player on the Super Game Boy. So it was released in 1995, I should add late 95. It was developed by another shadow developer, similar to last night's game. It was actually developed by a shadow developer, I believe, called Betop, and it was published by Takara, and it was a Takara franchise. And I should add, before I begin, I used the cheat to unlock all the characters. So all the secret characters, basically while Ellis is dancing after the Takara logo, you're supposed to press up, down, AB, right, left, AB. So after you press up, down, AB, you'll get one sound. Once you press right, left, AB, you'll get another sound. And that unlocks the 4 characters in total. There's actually 2 cheats there, but you need to implement them in sequence to unlock both characters. So without further ado, shall we get fighting? I'm actually going to be standing tonight, because I've been sitting down all week, so... And this, arguably, I think is probably better than the main franchise. Should say we're playing the Japanese Game Boy cartridge version. And we are playing it on the Super Game Boy. So although it's single, you get one button for punch, one button for kick, it's actually incredibly good. And there is a list of moves. Dragoon, if you want to know moves, just bring it. I'll just shout. I've got a guide here at Game FAQs, so we'll go with the top one. Just list all the character moves. List all the character translations. You can't even get ring outs in this one. If you fight towards the edge, you can actually get ring outs. So you get the full sort of 3D experience. I seem to remember Fu still had his. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, he's got the one fireball. He can do the roll fireball as well, as I remember. He sort of gets on the roll. This does even have devastation attacks. It's sort of there we go, a sort of mix of number 1 and 2. So I think it's arguably this is better than the 3D games. Would you actually?
Yeah, potentially, because none of the 3D Toshinden games are actually that good.
And this is actually damn good fun. Oh, can I? Oh, I'm trying to get you out in the ring there quickly. So yes, it is a pint-sized game. We are using the Super Game Boy. Oh, can. Oh. It's got all the standard moves. There are actually quite a few cheats in this version, and each of the characters actually have quite a large set of moves from their desperations, etc.
What are the desperation attacks?
I think one of them I have to implement a cheat to access, unfortunately. You actually get hold B, down, tap A, wing slash, forward, forward. Can you run?
You can dash.
Yep, you can dash. So we can. You got game. This is probably better than quite a lot of SNES fighters. So you can dash forward. You can. He can dash bash through show. Yep, I can run forward.
Arguably, this 96, though, this is later than a lot of SNES fighters made over the years.
This is actually, it certainly plays better. I mean, the pint-sized characters work really well, I have to admit. Not something you would think, so it's fireball attack there. Trying to remember what the roll is. I thought it was half second forward.
I suppose it's similar to the Neo Geo Pocket, where the super deformed characters.
So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the devs did some of the Neo Geo Pocket games.
These days, it's quite a rare system these days, and unfortunately the price of Neo Geo Pocket games has been spiralling upwards and upwards for the last couple of years.
Yeah, the Neo Geo Pocket titles are really, really good, I will admit.
But yeah, if you're lucky enough to play some of them, they are very good fighters, and similar to this, the super deformed characters, there were a couple of Capcom fighters in the form of Capcom vs SNK on the Neo Geo Pocket card play.
I should say this was released in America, and it was also released in Europe, but in Europe this was published by the notorious Laguna Games, who only seem to release their titles in Germany, making them incredibly hard to find. And this one actually takes, again, super advantage of the Super Game Boy, so we have a nice background with the name of the game at the top. I think I recognise this is, it's Battle Area, it's like Toshinden Nakoti. Oh, shouldn't do that. That X is the colour button. I've got to remember that. But the collisions, I mean, the collision's really solid. It's one of those Game Boy games you think that's going to be. And there's quite a few SNES fighters that this is vastly better than. Oh, she can actually fly, can she? Yep, I can actually fly as Uranus. Oh. And I'm standing on the edge.
It just occurred to me, maybe we should do Killer Instinct next week.
We don't have Killer Instinct on the Game Boy.
On the SNES.
Ah, yes, we could do Killer Instinct on the SNES. It would have to be the power version, though, which is the... Although Rare did power optimise their games, so... Rare, one of the few developers... Oh, that's... I don't mind doing Killer Instinct, actually, if you want to do that. Dig out the power SNES.
Yeah, it's the one of the few decent fighting games on the
SNES, yeah, Killer Instincts and... I mean, this is actually a better fighter than quite a few games I can think of on this. Oh, right, yeah. Basically, if you've got the ring out warning, it means one of you's a bit too close to the edge. Oh, oh yes! Come on, get... Oh, you're not out of the ring! Oh, I was hoping to get you out of the ring. I mean, looking at the list here, each character's got... You've got characters with 21 hit combos. Oh, I think it's you get the ring. You can get ring out once you've done enough damage to the. They can basically. Oh, so they can't be ringed out instantly. You have to.
No, with the ring out, you get the three arrows at the bottom. As you take hits on the edge of the ring, you lose arrows. Once it flashes, you're then vulnerable to the ring out.
So you're going to do Gaia, are you? I'll do... I mean, there's quite a lot of characters. I'll do Alice.
Well, you've got 12 characters,
yeah.
The same as the original Street Fighter 2s.
But it's quite impressive for a Game Boy title. All the stages also use different colours as well, you'll notice.
Or I could have got Cyboss on Saturday next week, just so we unlock the extra characters.
So this really is a pint-sized hero game. It's actually, I mean, I remember at the time they were saying these Chilby fighting games are actually very good. There's a couple of them. This one was Betop. I think World Heroes is supposed to be done by Betop as well. And there's the King of Fighters. And this is actually, you know, for a Game Boy title, this is vastly better than, as I mentioned, just quite a few of the SNES being honest. You've got the collisions alright, you've got combos. There's even a combo counter. I mean, you've got 4 beats there. Oh! That's what I like to see, a nice little ring out there. And it really takes advantage of the Super Game Boy's colour, so it changes, constantly changing colour for each of the characters, like the wind poses and stuff. Actually, a very little competent beat'em. I can think of a lot of SNES fighters that are vastly inferior. I mean, stuff like Clay Fighters, Weapon Lords. This puts them all to shame. This is actually a balanced, well-fighting game with a few not unlockable characters. You get a cheat code. I can't remember if it gave you the cheat code if you beat the game. If it said enter the cheat code in this one, I think it may have done. Thanks to rather leather-bound Sophia, you know, I'm probably find there's probably a mountain of fan art too. I mean, Toshinden was a series that never actually left the PS1. There's 4 Toshindens on the PS1, and that was it. We should actually pick up a few of the other ones. We got the 2 on Saturn. I suppose we should pick up the original on PS1, and we've got. I think we've got 2 and 3, or maybe on PS1. I could do probably a few more, but this is probably one of the standout ones. This really is good. This Game Boy one. See that Easter character they've really got a full set of moves. The animation's very good as well. I mean, it's just actually a really good fighting game. Just the hit collision as well is pretty solid. It's not, you're not left in any doubt where you're hitting and things like that. So I think the only thing that's probably sometimes a little bit hard to see because there's a bit of sprite flicker.
But I mean, considering this is a Game Boy game, it's a very solid beat 'em up. Obviously, given the power of the Game Boy. I mean, certainly this is a more enjoyable port than the original Mortal Kombat, which lacked Johnny Cage and...
Oh god, yeah. I mean, we may get round to doing some games like Mortal Kombat in the Fight Nights, but when we do, there'll be a case of we're doing it purely to show it off rather than actually play it. We actually have the Mortal Kombat one. I briefly showed Mortal Kombat 2 in the Super Game Boy 2 video we had the other week, where we've got, as we have the Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 collection as part of the Randomised Gaming archive. Nice little throw there. When you got fireballs, I mean, this really is a good game. When you look at just the comparison, you could look at, like, say, the iconic Amiga version of Street Fighter 2. Absolute rubbish compared to this.
There's nothing iconic about the Amiga's version.
Well, it was iconically bad. I think that's a... No. Oh!
Ring out.
There's definitely a satisfaction with Ring Out. Also, you not feel like you just get to the end and push people off. As in a game I was playing, in fact, Criticon we were playing the other week. We could do that on Fight Night at some point, which would be fantastic, because that was probably one of the... Okay, you got me the combo there. There was no way I was getting out of that. Triple hit fireball, matey.
He is one of the extra characters shown, so you do need to put in the cheat code to play as him.
Well, basically all the end characters are the extra ones, so you can fight them in game via doing a couple of them are bosses, a couple of them are unlocked via hidden codes and things. Which one of them I haven't. Oh, I didn't mean to pick the same character as you. Never mind. Let's fight it out as Mondo. Let's see what his moves are. Mondo, forward, down, down, forward, B. Grinsu Tembe. I mean, he's got like 7 or 8 moves. Down, forward, forward, down. Oh, double. Oh, he's got 2 quarter circle towards his. Ah, so 2 quarter circle towards his plus back. So he's got down, down, forward, down, down, forward, back. So, and then B. That's desperation. Basically, you actually have desperations in this when your health bar's low. Got a quarter circle towards you. That world's going to be brutal. Come on. Come on, that world. I guarantee you, if I hit you with that in the corner, you're going to be straight out. So, yeah. SC Super... I mean, they've got loads of moves. And this is just a Game Boy game, right? I mean, this guy's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... It's got 2 versions of that in the air, I think. We've got a low one of that.
What's the 12 attack?
Quarter circle towards and B.
Because that's the long stuff.
Maybe it's half circle. Yeah, it's half circle towards my mistake. Back down. Yep, there's... Oh, there we go. So basically, when your health bar's flashing, you do get desperation moves. So, let's see if we can actually do one. So, what's we got? So down, forward, plus B. I'm not sure I was getting that desperation quite right. The control, I think the pulling off the moves is not 100% perfect. It's probably the one negative.
Yeah, the controls aren't 100% responsive.
I think we might be one of the few people who've actually played through this on YouTube, or actually playing, doing the fight. So at some point I will do all the games in Fight Night. If we haven't done arcade playthroughs, we will do some on the channel at some point. And cheers for the likes, guys. Yes, indeed, Chris Lowe, the slaughter begins. Thank you for your comment there, bud. I appreciate the likes as well, people. It's always nice to get. In fact, we've got a chibi. Oh. A very cutesy slaughter tonight. I think the border's really, really nice as well. This is the Japanese version, so I think a few of the English names like Kayin and I think LS, they're spelt slightly differently. I doubt we'll get any of the super moves out tonight. Oh wow, that's nasty. No, don't want to get you in the... Oh, I got you Dizzy, nice! Yeah. I mean, this is really... I think he's got a dodge move as well. Oh yes, you press B and A together, you actually got a dodge as well, haven't you? He's got a nice little dive there, so yeah. And welcome back again to the streams, I should say, Chris. I've seen you a few times now. I always appreciate repeat streamers.
Or repeat visitors.
It's always nice to have
repeat viewers.
Yeah, it's always nice to have people coming back to watch our streams. At least we know we're doing something right. Ow, ow. No, no. Oh yeah, you can really get them in the ring out in the corners. You're obviously playing as the guy on the right of the border. You've got two versions of Ellie, and we've got Inja. Inja, interestingly, was actually a hidden character in the Saturn 3D fighting game DX Third, which is an interesting one. Wasn't terrible. It was sort of like Takara's last. It's actually got some impressive stuff on Saturn DX Third.
It's got some impressive graphics on the Saturn, but whether the game isn't that good, but it does include one of the few Saturn games to include genuine 3D transparencies on some of the stages. It also actually had fully 3D backgrounds as well in the fighting, so which is something a lot of the fight games didn't include. So Gear 1 is a really quite... Oh, he's got like a mad sword dash. Yeah, the desperation moves I don't think we'll get out, but I think we'll get... You do actually have to do a desperation mode. That'll be the TV. Sometimes the TV drops out, I think, because the signal usually interference, so it'll always be on the Uranus. She's actually got. She can fly over anything and just cause havoc. I mean, Toshinden's definitely one of those series that I don't think is... I mean, it was kind of popular at the time, but it rapidly... I think primarily its popularity was because it was like the first 3D fighter. Once Capcom's and Namco stuff started
really coming out, that's when it just sort of petered out because it just couldn't compete. I mean, the original Tekken's a vastly better game, and that's coming from someone who doesn't think that the original Tekken's actually that good a fighting game. But
yeah, I think Toshinden rode the crest of the wave of being a new, a new type. Obviously, there weren't many 3D fighting games at the time. Virtual Fighter on the Saturn wasn't exactly a great port.
Right, Toshinden was something new and original as well. I think it was always. Thus, it looks better than Virtua Fighter Toshinden, which
probably because obviously the Saturn support was rushed, and I think that's one of the reasons that didn't help the Saturn at launch, in that they rushed Daytona, they rushed Virtual Fighters. And obviously Clockwork Knight again was rushed, and you had 3 games that you're launching a new system, you'd expect them to want to showcase, perhaps have Sonic showcases, and they didn't quite offer that on Saturn at launch.
They didn't have Sonic either. Partly, I think at the time the Japanese didn't want to continue with Sonic, but
well, Sega had a policy that they wanted to develop new characters for Saturn, and the older characters were purely for the Mega Drive. As far as they were concerned, they were Mega Drive games, and indeed that was true of many Mega Drive franchise. Golden Axe, Streets of Rage, Echo the Dolphin, none of these, Sonic the Hedgehog, none of these really saw Saturn sequels. Vector Man didn't get, nothing got a Saturn sequel, because as far as Sega was concerned, they wanted to develop new titles for Saturn. Hence why you've got Clockwork Knight, Panzer Dragoon, Berg.
Nice there. Fights are actually pretty quick in this, so I think we're going to get quite a lot of bouts out of this one. Nice to get a few ring outs as well. Ooh. It would be nice to get an English cartridge version, I will admit. I don't think there'll be much changes, but yes, that uppercut is really quite a nasty move.
2 beats.
It's actually quite a nasty slide move. It's just like a standard kick. She's quite. I think she's got that whip dance. Okay, yeah, so you can fall. That's the type of move I've got to be careful, because if you do that on the edge to me, I'm in serious trouble. 3 beats. I mean, I do like that keeps hold. 5 beats. Yeah, yes, nice. So it's really nice to get some combos in this as well. Well, that might have actually been a desperation. Was it a rush? Oh! Yeah, the super move is sort of like double towards and things. But it makes a really nice use of the colour. I notice it's very key that it keeps things like black and white until it starts, probably because it knows there's a limited colour palette, so it's only triggering when it needs them. So like at the character select screen, the characters don't become coloured. Oh no, they are all the sort of show, and you get them colouring in. The stage backgrounds as well, all the stages also use their own unique colours.
Yeah, I mean, certainly, if you want a fighter for your Game Boy, you could do a lot worse than this. And indeed, there aren't that many.
We've got there's World Heroes Jet. Oh, damn it!
King of Fighters and Street Fighter.
Yeah, so there's Killer Instinct on the Game Boy, Street Fighter 2 that definitely supports 2 players mode, World Heroes 2 Jet, which I believe was done by the same developers. I think there might be another SNK one, or at least another Takara one as well. There's World Heroes, so World Heroes 2, and then you've got 2 King of Fighters games on Game Boy that support it. and Street Fighter 2, which of course probably not going to be the greatest conversion. Yeah, I think Ellie's probably one of the faster characters. Rungo is one of the stronger ones, the menacing. But I don't know how fast he's. Definitely, this is quite a. Oh, nice! That's actually quite a big range kick as well. Oh, she's really quick. I do remember a few of the characters having a couple of moves. There were a few moves you could sort of whiz this one because we played this quite a bit.
Played it quite a bit on the Game Boy. We never played it that much on the Super Game Boy, did we?
No. But then, I'm just trying to remember, I didn't actually get a Super Game Boy originally. Because although I had got a Super Nintendo way back in 1994, I never actually bought a Super Game Boy. It was only much later I actually finally got one to play. And then subsequently we got the Super Game Boy 2, purely because it actually has better hardware recreation. It's not actually an emulator as such. You basically have to plug the carts in and it's basically actually running. Basically the Super Game Boy is, for all intents and purposes, the Game Boy hardware altered into a Super Nintendo cartridge. There are a few bugs with a few games though. It doesn't entirely. The Super Game Boy 2 improves upon the original Game Boy, so the original Super Game Boy actually runs games too fast. And it didn't have a link cable. The Super Game Boy 2 includes both a link cable. Oh, ring out. The Super Game Boy 2 has a link cable. It's a nice, actually, see-through blue as well. It'd be nice if there was a SNES of that colour, I have to admit. Shame there wasn't a Super Famicom actually made to that sort of see-through blue shell. Because it looks a bit like, if you've ever seen the This Is Cool Sega Saturn, it's that type of colour. You can actually see the circuitry in the Super Game Boy 2. It's a really nice bit of kit. Came out in 1998, so it was a really late. It was purely designed for Pokemon.
How Nintendo decided Pokemon would be played on the Super Nintendo.
Basically, yeah.
Not via releasing a Pokemon game on the SNES, but simply giving you a slightly upgraded Super Game Boy.
I think the reason they actually did it was purely because people complained that Pokemon wasn't quite running correctly. I think it was actually done in conjunction with the release of Pokemon Yellow Super Game Boy 2. Because it's got Pokemon Yellow all over the box. Although Pokemon Gold and Silver do have... Although Pokemon Gold and Silver didn't come out till like 2001 over here, but both have Super Game Boy borders and functionality. So Super Game Boy games can have a couple of things. They can have borders. So in the most base case, the Super Game Boy can just assign a special colour palette to them. As a sort of special default colour palette. So that's basically the base one. So Super Mario Land and Super Mario Land 2 and Wario Land all actually use a special colour palette from the get-go. Strangely, there's actually a couple of versions of there's two versions of Wario Land 2. One is actually on a Game Boy cartridge, one's on a Game Boy Color cartridge, and the Game Boy version does actually have some Super Game Boy functionality. So some games have no functionality whatsoever, and it's up to you what you do. Some, of course, have special background borders. Some actually use the Super Game Boy's internal sound, and some, as we're playing tonight, support 2-player on the same console. Although there's only, as we mentioned, about 6 or 7 games it did, but it's really nice to be able to play 2-player on the same console without having to buy a second cartridge. So it's a really, really great feature. And probably one that doesn't get much advertisement. That basically you can play 2-player on SNES if you've got the Super Game Boy. I would say that there are a few emulation issues on both actual versions of the, well, not emulation, hardware. It doesn't quite get the hardware entirely right of the Game Boy. There are a few issues with it, but I mentioned Super Game Boy 2 does iron it out. One game I did notice the issues was with Mega Man Extreme. That has a few bugs with it on the Super Game Boy 2. Not the Game Boy Player though, the Game Boy Player. But the problem with the Game Boy Player is the Game Boy Player does not make use of the functionality. So if you have the Game Boy Player on GameCube, it won't make you won't get the borders or anything, which was a bit of an annoying factor. It would have been nice if the Game Boy Player had included the ability to use
Super Game Boy
functionality. Yeah, that was probably an oversight by Nintendo, I have to admit. I must admit, Fu was probably one of my more favourite characters, the old guy with claws.
We haven't played either of the ones on the Saturn. I think we've got the third one of this.
Yeah, I think we've got the second one as well. I can't remember. Yeah, one's up there, Nettō Tōshinden. I think we might have 2 on the PS1 and part of the Randomised Gaming arc.
We definitely don't have the first one PlayStation.
Should probably get a version of it, although I'm probably would prefer NTSC copies. I did try to force the PAL one. It actually ran at 60 Hz, but the screen alignment was off. So you can actually force PS1 games, but I need to cover that in a separate video, seeing as the tech behind it. Oh ha ha! You actually put yourself out! Did you actually just walk at the edge enough? So you can just literally...
I backed out. Yeah, Ballad Shooting 2's up there.
Your guess is as good as mine, so... There's actually 4 on the PS1. It's like 4.
The downside of having a large games collection, you have to resort to having a spreadsheet to check it from time to time.
Yeah, I sort of scattered a few things around the randomised gaming team, so got a couple of members who've got different games. But yeah, there is a sort of spreadsheet for finding who's got what. Definitely got.
I think I was just thinking, did I get the second temperature as well as the first? Oh, damn it.
Okay, Uranus versus Git. We actually already had a Uranus versus Git. Quite like the Wind girl. She's quite she's only one of the secret characters, so. Bouts are definitely coming quick tonight as well, which is quite nice. Be interested to see how many other people have actually played this two-player on YouTube. Sort of show the game that it's. Oh yes, she's got a lovely airborne throw. Base 9 beat run. So basically, you can ring out once you get that. Once it's flashing, it means your one character is susceptible for ring out.
Actually, now I think about it, I think Toshinden 3 might be in there.
So I quite like Mundo with the spear. He's definitely quite good. Some of the characters in this are probably better than their 3D. Just trying to see if there's an available. Yeah, I think Mundo at times up there. But I don't think I quite like Mundo with the spear. I've just realised I've had the mic off for that last section. Oh well, you've been having the games music, so yeah. I've just realised we have had a array of titles in Fight Night. We're actually up to the 16th stream. This is the 16th Fight Night stream, so we've still got about 10 minutes to go. As I was always, we're not usually the most efficient for starting on time. But it was a good idea to get people here for sort of 9:30 so they can. Toshinden has a weird mix of sort of futuristic characters and sort of knights. It's an odd mix. You have to watch that. If you get in the corner, you can get ringed out. And of course, I should actually say I am player 1, so I'm on the left in case people are wondering. And Dragoon is on the right. Oh, 2 in a row.
Yeah, Kain is definitely a nasty character.
Did that? Yeah, that
combos.
A few of the moves, if you can get them in the corners, you can really. There is definitely a few characters that you can trap enemies in the corner. You can ring them out really easily. So let's get some whip action in with Sophie. Or Sophia. Who basically appears to be dressed as a bit of a dominatrix. She's sort of really the fan favourite, as you should say.
Girls were S&M usually in games.
Yeah, I think she's supposed to be a goodie, but you often get like the one female femme fatale game in a lot of the fighting games. I think she's got like a half circle whip attack, doesn't she? I'll stay there and just do. The one thing I will say is the inputs are so she has got like a frenzied whip attack.
I'm not convinced about Uranus. Of all the secret characters, this seems to be the one that's a bit.
She's got the airborne flight ability, but you've got lots of arrows. Whether she's so you can probably use her to control via the arrows. Okay, that's half circle back for the spin, and she's got the range. That's for sure. You've got to get it right. If you wanted, I mean, we could do a few obscure fighting games. If you wanted an hour of pain, we could at some point do Warframe's Frame Fighter, as I've actually unlocked all the frames in that in Warframe. Although that would be, at best, described pulling hen's teeth, I think is the word. All the thrays.
As rare as hen's teeth.
Yeah, well, it'd probably be, how do you say Frame Fighter is designed by a team that have no idea how to make a beat 'em up and can't get the collision right, so it's pretty bad. That would be one of the Fight Night stream. Get ready for the pain. Because it would be painful for you and me to sit through for even an hour. I mean, half an hour would be bad. There are a few fighting games I can think of that will. Yeah, he's quite slow. A couple of them you really struggle to recover once your opponent has pressing the advantage. There's not necessarily a good recovery. I do remember being able to cheese this quite a lot when playing it. He's trying to get anything out against you at the minute. Yeah, he's really slow. I just can't respond to you. So the slow characters definitely have a disadvantage in this quite heavily. The faster characters definitely have an advantage. as always, guys, cheers for the likes. I will say thanks for the likes we've had on the stream. As always, if you do like the stream, please hit that like button if you're watching this in the future. It doesn't matter when you're watching it. Just remember, we do stream regularly from 9:30. And at the minute, with the UK weather being quite cool, despite the fact we're in the midst of summer, it's not as because I was fearing we were going to have. I might have if we was going to be a really hot heat wave, I would have actually given more of a break for the streams after I took my week off. But seeing as it's been relatively cool here in the UK and we're rapidly approaching the end of summer, or sort of end of July, and July is supposed to be August, so we've only got, and then we're going to be in September where things start cooling off again. I've got quite a few videos to do in the meantime as well. I do have a Saturn top 10 video that's going to come out at some point, so I need to do that. And I've got a few other bits and bobs to do as well. At the minute I'm trying to write up the PS thing, and I think maybe I should actually get that Saturn one done. I've said I'll do a video on Switch, and I've said I'll do a video on a few other things, so it's... oh dear. Although I may take a break from streaming at some point just so I can concentrate a bit more on video content.
Let us know with your feedback what you think, whether you like the streams or just prefer more video content.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what people do. I think the streams are quite popular. I think people like a mix. Some people watch streams and some people prefer the video content. And the video content, of course, we can do in 4K and we can sort of really practice that, whereas this is a bit more off the cuff, the streams, which is quite nice, but it does mean we can show you stuff a lot quicker and get it. I could stream 24, well, not quite 24/7 because we need to sleep, but you could get the general thing. You could stream for a lot longer. It's much easier to put up streams rather than prep the videos, but the videos, I think a lot of people do prefer them, especially because you can just edit them and just get them the right niceness. Streams can often not necessarily be a clean run, so like that Battletoads, I did Battletoads the other day and I actually finished it, but I've recaptured a video that will go up tomorrow. In fact, if you're wanting to know, there will be a complete playthrough of Battletoads up tomorrow, and that's only about 25 minutes I think it took me. It's under 25 minutes, the original Battletoads on Game Boy. She is... Sophia is actually pretty nasty with that whip combo. Yeah, Gears, again, the bigger guys are actually quite slow, so you can really... like her, I can really... You would... like, when I was playing as Gear 1 a minute ago, you were slaughtering me as EG because you have the speed. And the few ones where they had... I've seen Gundam in one of the fighting tournaments, which is quite nice because that really is a good fighting game on Super Nintendo. Gundam Endless Duel Wing, which really, really is a fantastic Super Nintendo game. That to me is possibly the best fighter on Super Nintendo. So you'd really. I know it's myself. The bigger characters really struggle against the just the faster ones. We could do a big character brawl next if you want to see what they're like, but yeah, she just absolutely punishing. The faster characters really do. They just feel like they've got the tier. I think a couple of the Seeker characters, strangely, Eiju I think really does feel like he's a really good character. Certainly, some characters feel like they have quite a major disadvantage. So Duke's quite slow. Let's do Rigu again, because I've not played him too much. The big guys, that they feel like they're in a tier behind the faster ones.
So should we call this the last match for the evening?
Yep, if you want to finish, I think we can call this the last match. That'll be the hour. Well, let's see. I think your guy's probably got the advantage over mine because Rugu is probably the strongest. He may even be. I mean, he's strong, but he's
strongest of the default characters.
Yeah, I think he may well be. I mean, we haven't done too many desperation moves, but it's kind of expect to see because we haven't played this that much. Oh, he's got some sort of lift move there. down I go. As mentioned, a really nice background for the Super Game Boy. It really is a nice little title. Certainly better than quite a few fighting games on Super Nintendo. I think it's fair to say, if you had, as fighters go, this is possibly the best battle area to Toshinden as well. Ah! Oh, what way to go with a ring out. Meh.
Ring out.
Player 2 wins. Shall we call it there, Dragoon? Is that where you want to end it?
Yeah, let's call it there. It's a good fighter.
Yeah, it's good fun. I think that's well worth. I mean, it's snappy, it's sharp, it's great for a Game Boy, and it's solid for a Super Nintendo as well. I mean, okay, it's not as good as, say, your proper Capcom games, but as a Game Boy fighter, this is definitely in the best set of games, and I would highly recommend it. It's a really good. I think it would surprise a lot of people who play it, because you're not expecting much from it, and what you get is a really nice little 2D fighting game on Game Boy. I can't really fault the collision that much. I can fault the collision quite badly in Street Fighter 5, and yeah, this isn't perfect, but you know what? This is a really good choice. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is us. That's calling it. I have been your host for this randomised gaming stream, Random Gamer Riven. With me has been
Random Game Dragoon.
So I'm going to wish you a good night, a good morning, a good evening, or a good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I will just end this stream by saying, if you like our content, please do hit that like button. It's always fantastic. We know it's great to see you've always got some likes on the streams, guys. Cheers for the support. And also, if you like our content and you're new to us, then please do hit that subscribe button if you like our content. The more subscribers, the merrier, as they say. And we are an ever-growing channel here on YouTube, and I do put out content. And of course, if you've always got feedback or suggestions, do leave a comment either on the videos or on the community page. I do keep a track of everything. Okay, everyone, that has been Battle Area Toshinden on the Game Boy. I think it's called Nets. The Japanese version is actually called Netsu Battle Area Toshinden, or Netsu Toshinden, like Mini Toshinden or something. Oh, as I stretch my knees getting up from the floor. Ouch, 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 ouch. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is it from me. I wish you a good weekend. So I mentioned this weekend we will actually have some more videos coming out. So I will get the Battletoads Game Boy playthrough up. So we did the stream. You can watch the stream, but if you want to see a 4K playthrough, that will be up tonight. No, not tonight, tomorrow. And also there will be the third part of our Knights of Valor playthrough, hopefully up on Sunday or Monday. That's going to probably actually Monday, I suspect, because it's going to take me a while to export it. But yep, there will be stuff all over the weekend on the channel, so stay tuned. I've been your host, Random Gamer With, and as always, I wish you a good night and have a good weekend, everyone. And I'll see you all streaming Monday.